we're coming up on 2 years of this thing, and I'm finding that the longer we go, the less I care what I look like on these podcasts. I'm sure I've worn exactly the same outfit more than once. This is my workout outfit, my winter workout outfit.
That's funny because I got up 2 hours early today to put this look together.
I'm sure you did.
I like to look good for the podcast, you know.
Just got to get the ponytail just so.
Just so I got to get some frizz going.
Yeah, right around the ears, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that ear frizz.
Yeah, I got to
That's
get a
good look.
haircut. Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy to look like this. Anyway,
Here it is, Tuesday morning, and we're knocking it out because I was way too tired last night.
I really was too, and yeah, so we're doing it on Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see who finds time to edit this one.
Yeah. So, yeah, things as we've intimated have been pretty busy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we just have one more week of insanity.
Right.
And then, yeah, as of next Monday, we're pretty much done for the year. But
I'm
been busy.
not.
Oh.
But I have pre-production 20th, 21st, and 22nd.
Oh, okay.
So,
With who?
Ipecac.
Oh, right. Cool.
Yeah, because they're on their winter break, so...
Oh, yeah.
Right, so we're doing that.
Right before you head to Florida.
Right before we
head to Florida,
yeah.
not just you.
Yeah, so, but the main thing is just one more week of shows and stuff. Mm-hmm. We had a pretty good week, though. Let's see, what happened this week?
Well, it started out with a gig at Soiled Dove with Cody Qualls. That was Friday night, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that was great. He brings such a community together. The background singers are dancing in sync with each other now. It looks so good. Like we were doing Addicted to Love, and they were doing the side shoulder turn thing, like all together. They look so good.
It's pretty, yeah, they've got it really worked out. And I think they've sort of learned the sort of girls on top.
Yeah.
Just sort of like, here, you know, somebody decides the move and they just sort of...
You kind of side eye, like,
yeah,
somebody's kind of the lead, but if somebody else doesn't take the lead, then you can take the lead, but you're all kind of like looking sideways to see what your you know,
fellow
background singer is doing,
and you just do the move.
Because you don't want to be going like...
you don't want to do that. And we had a great show, I think. It was really good.
Yeah, I felt really comfortable on bass. I was thinking back to... The first gig we did with Cody was at the Soiled Dove. Or the first, not you, but the first gig I did with Cody was at the Soiled Dove 2 years ago, and it was the Christmas show. And I remember, we had I guess we had 2 rehearsals for that, maybe?
I think we did do 2 for that.
But the whole band was new.
Right.
I mean, Greg had been playing with him, but everybody else was new. Well, I guess only 2 of us were new.
Yeah.
But I remember reading sheet music at that gig.
Yeah.
I was so tense and so stressed out. And now... I just pretty much know all the songs. Although I did find that I made 2 or 3 just brain fart mistakes.
Yeah.
Like coming in on the big hit on the Inquiry, which is C minor, I was like, boom, D. And it was just because like I glanced, we're performing, and I glanced down at the fretboard and I think I'm on C, but I'm not.
Right. It's a lot easier than you think to make those kinds of just...
And twice my eyes jumped down the chart and I thought we were at a different point in the song than we were.
Yeah.
So that's like, I'm trying to figure out how to learn from that, because that's the kind of thing that makes me nervous, because it doesn't feel like a repeatable, predictable error.
No.
I hate those kinds of errors that kind of like jump out of nowhere and get you sort of like, why did I do that? It's just because it's a one-off mistake. Like, how do I reduce the times that happens?
It will occasionally happen to me where my hands are doing something and I'm like, what are you doing? That's not what I'm telling you to do. Why did you go there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you just get better and better at it. And one of the other things you get better at is recovering. So you might accidentally slam down on that D, but as you get just more stage experience, the better you get at quickly sliding down
Yeah.
the C or acting like you meant to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's quite a lot of times I make a mistake and kind of slide it or bend it or do something with it like
Okay.
that was on purpose. Yeah, but overall a great show, good attendance. We did one of the things we did last week was TV for, which is online. I think it may have had more effect getting passed around online than being on the actual TV. But we just did morning TV, Cody and I, and we went in and talked a little bit and played a song. And I found it interesting because I was telling you I felt nothing. Like, I guess I've done it enough. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't excited. I wasn't anything.
You were telling me how you were complimenting the hosts on how professional they were.
Yeah. Me and Cody have that kind of, especially when it's me and Cody, we get real finger gun energy. And we were just like, what's your name? Aubrey? Aubrey, thank you so much. You were really great. You know, like we just get really like...
Down to the receptionist, I hear.
Yeah, we were talking, yeah. But it was fun. It was just, you know, I mean, those things are so easy, you know, you just go on and, you know. The worst part was traffic. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Yeah, having to be there at 8 o'clock and it was right by basically the Capitol. And so, you know, getting within 3 or 4 blocks of the place was really easy, and then an additional 15 minutes to get that 3 or 4 blocks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was rough. Anyway.
Oh, we saw James, the sound guy. James, I don't know his last name. But
gosh.
yeah, he's run sound for us at the Penny Nicks experience a bunch, and he's one of my favorite sound guys for us, and he is now working at the Soiled Dove pretty much full time.
Right.
So sound check, contrary to the week before, sound check was a dream.
It was absolutely nothing. So I was producing my client from Wyoming Friday afternoon, and then ran to the gig. Craziest Lyft drive ever. Short story, the guy was very nice, but was speaking a language that I could not identify. You know how you can, I don't speak French or Russian or Arabic, but you can go, I realize that's Hindi or something, but I, you know, and apparently did not have a word of English. Not one.
Not yes, not no.
Not yes, not no. Did not, he was asking me which way to go and didn't understand me saying no. So it took us 15 or 20 minutes to get out of the downtown neighborhood where the studio was, and then we were okay. But, yeah, so my Lyft drive took like 45 minutes instead of the 20 it was supposed to take.
Yeah.
It was just, I was considering getting out at one point. It was wild. And I was stressing out. Luckily, you were like, hey, it's no rush. But anyway, so I got to sound check late, but James had everything set up. You set up some of my stuff, and I just plugged some stuff in, and then the monitor was already good, and...
Yeah, and going through each instrument, it was a few seconds.
And he had that
thing,
I mean, he was just like, I've run sound for most of you guys before, so I know kind of what your stuff sounds like. So, we're fine.
Yeah.
And I walked out front during the show, and the sound was phenomenal.
That place is known for sound.
Yeah, it really did sound good. During the front part of the show where Cody and Brian are doing the piano and vocal stuff, I snuck out front.
Okay.
And really sounded good. I think that show is really something. I hope that we keep doing it, because I think that it's,
Yeah, I agree.
It's an interesting show.
Yeah, so that was Friday. Then Saturday we had a second showcase rehearsal. Mm-hmm. A couple people were sick, unfortunately, and didn't make it to the rehearsal or the gig.
Right.
Or the showcase. But rehearsal went great. Lots of new singers. Nothing really to note there.
No, it was just fun. I mean, and then I spent the rest of the afternoon finishing up with my Wyoming client. Not finishing. What we were doing was pre-production, which pre-production is basically the process of getting the songs into the shape that you actually want to record them in. So it's sort of like pre-planning for recording. So we did scratch tracks, which are, in her case, she plays acoustic guitar, and then there's vocals, and we're not intending to keep either of those things. They are just placeholders. So we got scratch guitar and scratch vocal. We will re-record both of those things, but that lets me figure out the arrangement of the song. I can cut and paste stuff around.
Yeah.
I can take out her guitar and change some chords. I can figure out how the drums are supposed to go. I can do all of those things.
Yeah.
And that's the first step. So luckily, we only had 2 days, but we luckily got through the 5 songs. And she did great.
Speaking as someone who learned how to make music as an adult, like record music, not play music, but record music as an adult, I think that pre-production is something not everybody understands even when you describe it. And so I just thought of an analogy.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
So imagine you're going to landscape your front yard. You don't start by planting stuff and seeing how it looks.
Right.
You draw it out first.
That's a great analogy.
And you look at a picture, maybe you even have a landscape designer and they do a nice 3D, SketchUp drawing or something.
Right.
You can see what it looks like before you go commit to the process of putting things in the ground. And with music, we can't visually plan. We have to audially plan. We have to plan by ears. So we have to basically record the song the way we want it to be. And then we're going to use that as the template for recording it again.
Right.
But the second time with parts you've practiced in order, with the vocals practiced as you want them to be. And so, because there's not this ability to meta plan sound.
Right.
You have to just do it twice. And I think that's why there's some confusion over what pre-production is.
That is very much. And, as much as sometimes I can hear a song and in my head I can go, I know what I would want the final version of that to be. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when I actually hear it by programming some drums and making a fake drummer go boom, tap, boom, boom, tap, I realize, that isn't how I thought that would sound.
Right.
Once I hear a fake version of it. Or sometimes I have zero idea and I just have to go fishing for, let me throw this at it, let me throw that at it, let me,
So the analogy is you're in your little, you're sketching out your landscape, your front yard, and you're like, I think I want a tree in it here and a bush here. And then you put it there and you're like, oh, no, I thought I did, but I don't. I'm going to swap them.
Right. That is a great analogy, and it's really that way. And I was telling Jenna, what I will often do is there's fake drums. So I just, program in how I want the fake drummer to go, and that's just basically like tapping in patterns for the drums. And then I will play a bunch of guitars and bass, but I'll do it pretty sloppy because, anyway, to finish the thing, I'll do guitars and bass pretty sloppy, but generally the idea of the part, I might play a little solo, but I just do like a one take. Here's a guitar solo. And then I will send it to the client, whoever the client is, and say, what do you think of this approach? And then if they're good to go, then I go back and either perfect the drum programming or get a real drummer to play it. Occasionally I'll play it. And then I redo the guitars and the bass because I don't want to spend an entire afternoon getting all these guitars perfect. And then they go, I don't really like the approach. It's a little too... it feels too hard rock or it feels too country or what about this or that. So that's the process of pre-production. And what's interesting is we do, sorry we got on this long tangent, but that's what I'm doing with Ipecac, right before we leave, the 20th and 22nd and all that. And that is more old school pre-production where we've actually got a live band in the room and we're running through songs and I'm going, hey, what about this? What if so you guys are doing that part 2 times. What if you just did it 1 time? All right, here we go. Let's count it off. Let's try it. What if we double that chorus? Or what if... with Ipecac, it's really interesting because a lot of times they have these split choruses. So you wind up doing what really needs to happen is the first time or 2, you only do the first half. And then later it feels like it develops, but if you do that whole anyway, you're doing it with a live band in the room and you're going, hey, why don't you try this, why don't you try that, what if you went up on the neck and did this thing, or what if the bass dropped out, and you're doing, actually what we used to jokingly call it is the what if machine. A lot of times you're just running through your all the what ifs you can think about. Like, what if this, what if that? You don't even think that it's going to sound good, or it's not like you hear it in your head. You're just going, just to see.
Yeah.
What if we did this?
Yeah.
And very often you wind up back at the way it was originally, but at least then you're sure that that's the best way because you went through all the what ifs.
Right.
What if we change the key? What if we change the tempo? What if we speed it up? What if we slow it down? And all those things are pre-production. So sorry to go on that long tangent.
I think that was a good educational moment for my mom.
And my mom. And, we've got that contract with Ridley Scott. We got to do 35 minutes to keep his hundreds of thousands of dollars in sponsorship money. So
okay. So killed some time there.
Killed some time.
So you did pre-production on Saturday evening. I met with the player who is going to be leaving a sizable band. It's not that the band is big, but that their followers are big. Where I might be able to join this band if I can learn their stuff, and then he can propose that I'm the new person. The playing is a step up from what I've been doing. It's exciting. I've learned some project songs like "What Is Hip" and "Dean Town" by Wolfpack.
Yeah.
So I've learned some occasionally very hard songs before, but these aren't on like that. They aren't on par with that level of difficulty. But the thing is, I'll be stepping into his shoes if this happens, and so it's not like when learning the wedding songs where it was like, I got the chords, I got the important riffs. From there, it's all interpretation.
Right.
I need to hew a little closer to what he's doing. Not exactly.
Sure.
Nate pointed out, I was talking to Nate about this, and he pointed out, you find your own voice, you find your own ways. I love this phrase. You find your own ways of solving the same problems.
That is a great.
Yeah. So it's not about playing every single note the same on the same string. It's about having the same musical idea and solving it your own way. So.
Right, and giving it the same feel.
Yeah. So that'll be my project of the year, honestly. Because when this band tours, they usually have about 50 songs they pull from, and it's not the same show every night. So, 50 medium difficult songs.
And probably some different techniques, because I know some of those are pick songs rather than finger songs.
Yeah,
and
there are some pick songs, and there's some bass chords.
Yeah.
And there's some harmonics even.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some...
It's gonna expand my skills. I'm super excited. No matter what happens, like whether I get into this band or not, I'm excited to have motivation to take a step up this way. Like, this is going to level me up no matter what happens, just by learning these songs.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
I think that's great. It's just a great opportunity to learn again, whether it works out or it doesn't. You're gonna wind up with a whole new skill set.
Yeah, and just the possibility of it happening is the motivation I need to dig in on these songs. Whereas if the goal was solely to learn without any opportunity or potential to play it in front of people.
That's a great point, yeah.
I wouldn't have the same motivation.
That's a great point. I wonder, I should think about that and see how I could apply that, because I spend a lot of my artist development time is
motivating people.
In motivating people. That's very often what people's main problem is.
Yeah.
Is finding the motivation to really follow through and get stuff done.
For me, it is fear of failing in front of a group of people, or fear of letting people down. So it's probably different.
Motivation.
It's probably different for different people. But for me, the possibility that I might have to play a song in front of people is the thing for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what mine is. Maybe I don't have any. But
You have intrinsic motivation. Like, you're constantly pushing yourself to play new fingerings and try new things on guitar just because you like it. I feel like your motivation on guitar is intrinsic.
I think it is all internal. And as much as I do love crowds and it never sucks to have people clap for you. That's not the motivation for me. Yeah, I am always just wanting to get a little better and, you know, get a little more vocal.
All right.
Anyway, that's so interesting. I'm going to have to apply some of that to my
Yeah.
coaching, or think about it at least. So you also went to a conference. What was it?
Oh, it was more like a trade show at a middle school.
Okay.
Where different vendors have tables.
Okay.
So MySpark Denver is a program that is distributing $1,000 debit cards to kids who qualify for free or reduced rate lunch in school, 4th through 7th grade. And we are one of the providers who can accept these debit cards.
Right. We may have talked about this. So you can use they can use the debit card for after school
enrichment activities.
Activities.
Swim lessons, music lessons, math tutoring.
That is so cool.
Sports. So we had a table at Montbello Middle School where some families came and checked out everybody's stuff. And I have to say I had an uncomfortable realization at that conference.
Which was?
You called it a conference. It's not a conference. Which was Performance High has been trying to lean into getting more teen students because we have more adults than anything else right now. And we are not positioned to do so. We don't look like a school that serves teens. I thought we were starting to, and compared to the other schools that were there, we most certainly do not.
Right.
So that's putting me back on my heels a little bit about like what do we need to do to serve the preteen and teen market better and to let people know that we really do, or do we need to just lean into what we're already doing? So.
And I thought, and we do have teens.
Yeah.
But they tend to be. We were talking about how, like, certainly maybe not for teens, but at least for kids, a lot of music lessons are basically babysitting. Mm-hmm. And that is definitely not what we do with the caliber of teacher you've made sure that you have and all that stuff. And we do have teens, but they are the teens who are much more serious.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't guitar lessons because I might play guitar for a couple years. I don't know. The teens we have, Lily and her name starts with an A, and she was at the showcase.
Addie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, they're very good. They're advanced.
Yeah.
And take it very seriously.
Yeah.
So maybe that's more of the.
Maybe it is.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of mulling all that over as we rebuild Performance High's foundation from the ground up.
Yeah, which you've been doing a ton of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, we might just have to try it for a year and see.
Right.
And then readjust. But anyway, that was my week last week. Was there anything you want to talk about that you did last week, or have we covered it all?
We should talk about the showcase.
Oh gosh! Oh my gosh! Forgot about it.
Which is part of why we were so tired. Because Sunday night was the showcase at the Roxy on Broadway.
Yeah.
And I thought it went great.
It did. It was great. We had people meeting each other. We had lots of cheering. We had all these pieces are starting to come together a little bit.
Yeah, enthusiastic audience.
Yeah. So everything from Britt and the Boys, our client band who's been together for over 4 years now, they are sounding better than ever.
Yeah, they really did sound great.
They're getting tight.
Kevin Corrigan is playing guitar with them now.
Yeah. And then we had 11 singers doing 23 songs, 7 of whom were new.
Yeah.
One of whom was me. I really enjoyed singing my original. And then we had the pop choir.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That went great. I mean, I don't know what to say about it.
Yeah, I was sweating. Some of those songs were, especially the last half of the second set was just like...
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. So many guitar changes and so many songs that were just really hard.
We need to figure out a way to make that a little easier on you. Make sure that you vet the songs differently at the beginning.
Yeah, I think we need to... simplify some stuff and...
Yeah. I mean, the whole reason we vet songs is because we don't want to overload people. I mean, you're getting paid essentially like $20 a song. And how long are you spending on some of those songs? Hours.
Oh, I would bet Crazy on You is probably 5 to 10 hours of practice.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's super hard. That song is made up of a bunch of separately recorded guitar parts. Nobody played all those guitar parts together. So to switch from down here to up here to do that thing is, and I'm sure the real guitar player of Heart, and I love him, can't remember his name, Howard something. I'm sure he figured out how to do it eventually, but like that's not, no one ever played those guitar parts in a row.
Yeah.
Originally. Yeah. So yeah, pretty hard. And anyway, we'll work on it. But it's great seeing the students, and some people seem to really have just phenomenal times.
Yeah.
Doing it. Yeah.
Everyone did great. So coming up, I have a very busy weekend again. We've got the Petty Nicks Experience at the Buffalo Rose. We're adding some new songs for that. And then Saturday, I have a gig with Jenny Shahan. Ryan recommended me for that, so I'm excited about that. I'm going to try to throw some harmonies on.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
A lot of the bass parts are pretty easy on her songs, so I can manage to sing harmonies.
Right.
For some reason, Cody's stuff, it's much harder for me. I don't know why. It's not like his songs are hard. I don't know what's going on, but
they're tricky. They're tricky
like,
usually.
There's a lot more space and timing and syncopation.
That makes it
and
harder.
A lot of Jenny's stuff is very on the downbeat.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that'll be interesting. I thought it was interesting that you're kind of starting to get, just more sub gigs. I mean, a lot of it's Ryan recommending you, but at
pretty much
time,
all, yeah.
But at the same time, you're getting out there.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm honored, and each one is a great new challenge. Then there's a Denver Music Scene event at Fracco's on Saturday afternoon.
Okay.
Stasny's trying to pull together, like, there's so many good resources in the scene for people who could offer education to everyone else,
right?
Including people like Performance High, that he's trying to bring everybody together to like kick something off.
Oh, interesting. So, Dave Stasny, who's a big scene.
Yeah. He's like the glue of the Denver music scene.
Yeah. Everybody knows Dave Stasny one way or another.
Yeah.
And gosh, well, I won't be there because I will be tracking fiddle.
I know. Looking at our combined calendar for Saturday, it's like 3 things overlapping each other all the time.
Yeah.
Because we've got you tracking fiddle. We've got the Denver Music Scene event, which overlaps with when I need to be at the gig with Jenny. And then there are 2 shows I want to try to hit that night. John Morningbear is moving to
you mentioned
Copenhagen, I think. I think. And I have never seen Morningbear play, and Nate is in Morningbear, so I really want to see that show. But also, I want to see Ben Tonak's show. He's the one who rents us Studio 5.
Oh, okay.
And so those shows are probably happening at the same time. And as well, Ari's having a party.
Yeah. So
I don't know. There's no way we can do all this stuff. But
yeah, I don't know what I'll be doing. We're finishing the fiddle for. Oh, I should say something else we did last week. It was just yesterday, but we tracked piano for Eric's album, and we worked with a guy named Doug Kraus, who apparently was the architect of the songwriting program at the University of Colorado. He was there for like 20 years and put together the songwriting program and Sammy Davis went through that. Jacob Larson went through that. We know a lot of people, and he apparently was one of the 2 professors who put that program together. And I have to say, phenomenal musician. If we need piano, he was getting through stuff. I mean, and it's country stuff, so on the one hand, the chords are pretty straightforward, but, you've got fills, and, traditionally in country, you would give one verse or chorus, the piano would get the fills, different instruments get the fills on different sections. Mm-hmm. So there are licks, but he would get, first take would be like, well, I'm sure you can do better, but that would be totally fine. It was just phenomenal. We went through, I think, 8 songs, and we were messing around and stuff, so maybe 5 hours or something.
Wow.
We were just flying.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
great contact to make. Doug Krause, and he plays with Tyler Howell.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
so
Cool. Yeah, this Denver music scene is
I
so
mean,
so small in certain ways, but also so big. There's so much original
there
music.
is so much going on.
There's so many people coming into the scene all the time that I don't know. Like 102.3 features 12 artists every month.
Right.
I rarely know or I've heard of more than one or two of them.
Right.
And so I love it. Like there's this sense of rootedness and home, and like I keep running into people in different contexts.
Right.
And at the same time, there's just so much vibrancy.
Well, and there's so many gigs. I mean, everybody's working a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it's really weird that, like, we know so many people and everybody's schedule is pretty full.
Yeah.
It just seems like there's so much music going on now. You know?
It's great.
Yeah. Because Tyler's apparently busy, but...
Oh, is he working again?
Yeah.
Because he stopped for a while. He lost his voice.
Right, well, apparently it's back, and,
Good.
yeah, they're, you know...
I love the band name, Tyler Howell and the Country Club.
Yeah, that's
It's a great
pretty
name for a country band.
It is. and they're working, you know, so it's an interesting thing. You're so right. You want to say small world, but it's not. There's just so much happening.
Yeah. And then we have one more thing coming up this weekend, which is Cody is playing at Nieces.
Right.
So our last holiday show with Cody.
And Petty Nicks at Buffalo Rose.
Yeah, I said that already.
Oh, okay.
Didn't I?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mainly am just thinking of what I'm going to say next.
Yeah, like usual.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Buffalo Rose. That we always have a good time there.
That show is always great. They treat us nicely there.
They treat us so well. They treat us like they're actually happy we're there.
That means so much.
It really changes your whole attitude about...
And it doesn't take much. Like some venues, you have to beg for water or soda back, like in the green room.
Yeah.
Some venues, they come and bring you menus, make sure everything's cool, come back in an hour, check, make sure everything's cool.
I know.
Anything, you want just some drinks, you want another drink. It's like, it just makes you feel welcome. I mean, it's hospitality. And then it makes me want to perform better because I'm put in a good mood. I don't have to fight this.
The managers there always come back and just say hello.
Yeah.
David and Marco, they just come back to the green room and just to say hi.
Yeah.
See if everything's going well.
Yeah.
All those things. Yeah, so it'll be great to be back there. It does make all the difference, and the crowds there are usually super enthusiastic. So it's gonna be amped up for Christmas. So I'm expecting it to be pretty. Yeah,
that's why I pulled out Zero from Outer Space.
I need to send an email, but I agree with you completely about that.
Oh, good, cool.
Yeah. It's that the Buffalo Rose is the place where Maddie, Vic's daughter, was. At the soundboard in the back of the crowd, and her Apple Watch was going off warning her about the sound level, but not while we were playing, in between songs when the crowd was cheering. It was saying...
I thought it was at the Boot Barn Hall.
It might have been there too, but it was at Buffalo Rose.
Okay.
Yeah, that it was saying you need to get out of this level of volume. We only do that venue twice a year. Mm-hmm. So it's always a great, Anyway, let's close it off.
Yeah.
Get on with our day.
Woo.
We are sponsored, as always, by Performance High.
Voice and Music Studio.
And did we get in Ridley's? Oh, we're at 34 minutes. We gotta, we'll pad it out with some music. Let's just do that. So enjoy the following music.
You're going to trim this too, though. It's not going to end up being full 35.
Yeah, I'll just loop what you just did for a while.
I don't think that was music.
Well, it's royalty free, so that's all that matters.
You get what you pay for.
Yep. All right, guys.
All right, see you next week.
Bye.